Oh, what happened?
Hey sis, how you doing? I think we are a go. I think we are a go.
We we are
Yes,
go.
we're a go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're a go. I'm so sunk in my chair.
Welcome.
It's so funny, but it's so comfortable. That says you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. So we are logging on. So welcome
We are on.
to
All right.
we are on Village Rising Community Conversation Series, where you are with Kyndra Joy and Dr. Stephanie Burns for to talk about our people, our culture, our traditions, all that and more on this beautiful rainy
All that
afternoon.
and more.
So our rainy evening, I should say, because it's 8 o'clock.
I
Sis, how
think
you
we need
feeling?
like an intro song. I think we need like an
Uh,
intro song. Remember how we used to get ready, get
excuse
ready,
me.
get ready, get ready.
I
We were
think
trying
we
to make an
had
intro.
yeah, we did. I think I did Geechee Boy last time, and um, we didn't do it this time. I think we just didn't have the time. So it's all good.
Well,
Yeah,
you
we're
can
gonna be
sing
cool.
it.
We don't need an intro because we're dope like that. Yeah?
Because we
No, we're
like
not dope.
that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So last conversation
absolutely.
we had, sis, it was really interesting. We touched on so many things, right? We talked about tradition, the religion, the culture in religion, right? And so I think people wanted us to kind of do like a part two with that. Um, and
Yes.
then kind of I guess jump into some other stuff too. I know we touched base a little bit on yesterday. So tell the people what's on your mind, Doctor. Listen, I got man. My arm is like it's a little hurting since I got this little vaccine. This is not a part of the culture to get vaccines.
Well, congratulations on,
Not a part of the culture.
breaking some of these cultural traditions. What's on my mind? Wow, it's so much on my mind. But
Ah,
like you said last time, it wasn't last week, but last time we did get into talking about the ancestors and ancestor traditions. I think what I've been really thinking a lot about is art of storytelling and how a lot of our traditions and culture wasn't written down, it was shared orally, right?
hmm.
And just have we gone away from that, right? So those are some of the things on my
Storytelling.
mind. Plus storytelling and
Yeah,
the art of storytelling.
yeah, I got you.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the storytelling of the hag.
So
That's a story. That's a Gullah storytelling thing there. Of the hag rides you.
right.
Yeah, that's
And
a
just what comes from our when we talked, we said we'll talk a little bit about sitting at our elders' feet. Um,
yeah,
so introducing part of that is like orally, what the stories that are shared orally, and what
yeah,
happens when that's lost or doesn't get
yeah,
passed down.
definitely,
Uh,
definitely, definitely. So elders
so
so we need to actually we are very horrible family. We were supposed to have an elder on with us today. Stephanie, what are you doing over there?
I've
Are you
just
free?
I'm trying to let folks know we're live.
Oh, God. Rest yourself. No, we in the conversation. It's all good. They will catch us.
I'm here though. I'm here. I'm here. I do like I do when we were on radio, right?
Girl, but you can't do that because there used to be multiple people in the radio thing, so the camera was not just directly on you.
Right. Right.
Right.
All right. Call me red-handed. Guilty as charged.
Girl, you so funny. That is so funny.
Guilty as
On so
charged.
many levels. Like Jeez Louise. I should probably sit up a little bit, huh? Because you look so tall and I look so short, but I'm synced into this chair. It's so comfortable. I'm like, "Argh." But anyway, jumping back to the topic in hand. We are not, we should have had one of our elders that, like we discussed, talking. What a day. Oh, that's the news lady. She want to jump on too. Let me get my phone out my hand. Um, but we should have had somebody. So let's talk about the culture of storytelling or the art of storytelling, because a lot of people don't do it anymore, and you don't see young people doing storytelling gigs. Like I have a storytelling gig in Connecticut in June, but you usually see older people. Um, I could like how I mess with Sula, walking with the ancestors, right? You usually see the older
Mm-hmm.
people telling stories and not the younger people who have sat at the feet of the elder, right? Or just done some research in
Right.
general just to know how to do those things. So, what is your take on storytelling?
You know, um, there's the formality of it, right? Where you have people
Mhm.
who are storytellers, and I'm just really even on when I just remember my grandmother would sit on her porch and make home ice cream,
Oh
and
wow,
we would come sit on the porch and just listen to her stories. My other grandmother would just tell stories after stories after stories. When I was a little girl, I used to do this, and the way she would tell it was more than just let me my life. It had this beautiful flow to it, and I
hmm
tried my best to record it. We didn't have all of the beautiful technology that we have now,
yeah,
so you do the best you can to try to capture it,
what you got?
and so you can play it back, and you like, how do I then share these stories, um with the next generation, with my nieces, nephews, and even my sister, who was real young when my grandmother passed
Yeah,
away, so missed on some of these stories that was told. And yeah, just the importance of that. And even the parts that they didn't really want to share, right?
hmm
The parts that they are like the secrets, the family secrets,
yeah,
um, where they don't really want to talk about it. We need to talk. So much is lost, so much we don't know. And then
yeah,
when that last person who the secret passes away, then it's like, you know, we miss out. And it could be an important key to our healing. It could be an important key to preserving um, our culture, you know?
yeah. I think one of the things that has happened too with us is that our grandparents have gotten much younger. Unlike when I was in high school, I think my grandmother was like 80, like 86 when she passed away, and I was like
Yes.
17, right? And so we were able to get that wisdom from our grandparents because
Yeah.
they were actually our grandparents. Not to knock young grandmothers, the wisdom is just a little different that comes from the younger grandmothers per
Right.
se, the older grandmothers. And so I remember stories that my godmother would tell me about all type of spiritual stuff, and just all like I find myself recording at Thanksgiving and at like holiday time to be able to capture these stories that they even forgot about, like how my mama pushed my
Right.
uncle out the car while the car was driving and all type of stuff. And it's just like, you remember how granddaddy and then you find out all these home remedies, right? All the remedies. And so just the act of
Right.
remembrance is spiritual, right? It's a sacred time because when we remember, we're able to obtain and sustain that wisdom and that strength to kind of, push forward a little bit. And so how do we even get them involved in storytelling? Like, for my little ones, when I do Gullah storytelling, they wear me out, baby. I have the staffs, I have the tambourines, I have the shakeries. I'm just like, well, and they wear
Right.
me out. But
Right.
it's good because they're able to learn a different language. I had one kid ask me, were you a slave? Because we were talking about, it was Black History Month, we got to teach Black history all the time. But he was like, are you a slave? And I'm like, no, we don't have slaves anymore right now. No one is enslaved. And so how do we get the interest of that? Because people are just kind of like doing their own thing, you know? Where do we start?
Yeah. Yeah. But you said a lot. You said a lot. One of the things you addressed was the fact that you have younger grandmothers,
Yeah.
and to tell a story, you have to have a story or know the story, right?
Oh,
Uh,
oh Lord, you gotta have a story and you gotta know the story. Oh Lord.
right. And this just isn't with youth, but the thing about you being able to uh, pass on the Gullah Geechee tradition is because you have sat at some people's feet. You have sat at the elders' feet. You have been around. You were in the
Mhm.
churches. You were eating their food. You listened when Uncle Nam was drinking and telling all the stories. You sat at the tables when they playing, the card games. Um,
Mhm.
we, if we don't have that, there's so much I see. Like you have these younger grandmothers who are, may not even be interested in keeping that tradition going. And then you
Yeah.
have the disconnect that's families, right? Where, oh, I don't talk to that side of the family, so I'm not sitting at anybody's feet information. So we have to have a story. We have
Yeah.
to get the story. And
Yeah.
I keep hearing time and time like someone passes away and that information passes with them. So go get the story. So that's number one.
Yeah. You could
Go,
get,
and
and
whoever's left, right? Who's ever remaining.
yeah. And one thing, I don't want to cut you off, but one thing before I lose this thought is that, like, this weekend, Mama Asetuwa had been posting Big Chief Dump's funeral service, and the lives that
Yeah.
he had impacted, because he was one, first of all, he was a big chief, so may his soul rest in peace. Um, but the
Yeah.
children that were masking, right? The children that were there in full, in their full garb, and the young people, like, you can even teach or continue to teach culture like that, even if you can't identify or find somebody in your lineage or in your
Right.
immediate family that will be able to give you your family's information. At least you can know history of New Orleans culture, or
Right.
of Black Masking Indians,
Right.
um, or
Right.
how the Black Masking Indians even like that type of history and culture and storytelling is really important. So if you're listening, I don't want you to get stuck on, oh, my granny gone, my TT them gone, stuff like that.
Right.
I don't have
Right.
nobody to
Right.
talk to. Well, when there's so much other culture and storytelling that you can do and hear. Like, don't put yourself in this
Yeah.
box, because that's where we get lost, and that's
You're
when
right.
people don't want to be bothered anymore because they feel that they don't have anything else to learn. And that's not true
Right.
at all.
Right. Right. No, we're not
Yeah.
saying that at all. Like if someone's still here, and regardless, if your granny's gone, but you got your aunties, your uncles, somebody, get as much
Yeah.
information as you can. Technology makes it easier to go and learn. I learned something about my great 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 grandfather from the census, and information that was was shared. And then I did like some historical, like, okay, if he was born during this time, what was happening in the
Yeah.
world during this time?
Yeah.
And so you have that, technology can be your friend. And I
Mm-hmm.
will say, to our family members who are still here, share those stories. Like, don't be afraid and ashamed to share. Because like you said with the masking,
Mm-hmm.
you're never too young, right?
Yeah.
Don't hold that and say, oh, it's just for us old folks. When those kids are out there and like, yes, I can mask too. I can dress up too, because I'm learning as well. And they grew up wanting, and then they become the big chief one day.
Yeah. That's
Um,
important. That's a real
yeah, so
important thing
you're
to
right.
continue.
Yes. What is your family known for?
Hmm.
Right? Here's just some things to like questions you can ask. What is your
Yeah.
family known for? What is the city or place known for? If you identify as African or American or Black or,
Yeah.
Choctaw or Cherokee, what were they known for? Or the
Mm-hmm.
Maroons,
That's
what
real.
were they known for?
That's a real thing. Like
So
my
here's how
uncle
you
used
can
to say we
tell
Blackfoot.
stories together.
What'd you say, sis? You
Black?
got a delay. What you say?
No, I didn't say anything. You said your uncle said y'all were Blackfoot.
Yeah.
You said your
Yep.
uncle said y'all were Blackfoot.
Yes. Because that was the
Yeah,
and that's
and
like
like my
not even
family,
the, oh, you keep freezing. Oh no. What'd you say?
I'm freezing.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Now you're good.
I'm gonna see if okay, you can hear me, but the visual. Okay, all right. Um, yeah, I know my family. They would say, "Oh, we got some Indian us," but they, don't really know that much. But when I did the research, it's like it either had to be Cherokee or Choctaw, just because of that area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I remember one of my great aunts, they she had cut her hair and it was just this beautiful long braid and kept it in a box.
Mm.
And because they were just talking about how beautiful her hair was. And
Mm-hmm.
part of our, yeah, those like identifying, what was your family known for on all sides, right? What was the city you were living in or wherever, your family was raised? What are they known for?
Mm-hmm.
Tracing back your heritage as far as you can, going what it's known for, and then weave in those stories.
Yeah, that's really important to do
Weave in those
that.
stories.
It yeah, it is it really is. And that's why a friend of mine, one of her favorite places and a place that she would like to go visit is G's Bend, where it's the town, it's the
Okay.
where the women they are known for their quilting. And they tell stories
Ah,
through their
yes.
quilting, just like the Mascan Indians, the Black Mascan Indians here. They tell stories through their beading. Every time they do one of their fits, it's a story to be told when they open up their arms and they say, even though they're saying pretty, pretty, it's a story, it's a dedication, it's an honoring.
Yeah.
And so not only can
Yeah.
storytelling be done verbally, orally, it can be done in quilting and masking. Um, and even in songs like
Yeah.
Mississippi Goddamn with Nina Simone is priceless to me. It tells you,
Yeah.
even if you don't know
Yeah.
or can't identify with the time, she's telling you Alabama got me so upset. Tennessee's made me lose my rest. But everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn, right? And so it's just gives you the story and makes you want to learn more. And so I guess one of the things that we can encourage individuals to do in trying to identify, you tell them to find out what their family is known for. Sometimes they don't know. Everybody's spread out, everybody's
Yeah.
died out, at least the elders.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures were lost in
Yeah.
Katrina. A lot of albums were lost,
Yeah.
a lot of memorabilia. And it's a really
Yeah.
difficult thing to try to recapture all of that was lost when it was irreplaceable. That stuff was irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Um,
And so
but they can still
this
start
is where
somewhere.
yeah, and don't, when we talk about our ancestors, don't disregard how they may still tell the story through dreams,
Yeah,
through
yeah,
memories, through ideas. Like I just had a dream with my grandmother and my grandmother's sister, and what she shared with me in the dream. I called my father and I said, is this true? And my
yeah.
father, and it just opened up this dialogue, and he started sharing things with me that he has never shared with me before.
Wow, wow.
And it's just so my grandmother and the stories um was amazing. Like, I'm like, so that's what happened. I never knew what happened.
Yeah, yeah,
But this came through, right?
yeah. That's
Through a
being in
dream.
alignment too. That's a whole nother conversation though. That's like being in alignment or attuned to, that whole thing, right? You gotta, and so everybody doesn't know what to get from their dream. Like they just think that they're having a grandmother,
Yeah.
the grandmothers, or they just dreamt about their grandmother, not knowing that there was a message. In between, I had a dream last
Yeah.
night that I was torturing somebody because that person was annoying, and I didn't want to kill them. I just wanted to be like, how does that feel? How does that feel? How does that feel? But that just let me know that I just need to work harder and just being more patient and giving
Right, right,
grace,
right.
right, to this particular person. But pray for me. But even with that being said, your dreams can be an open portal for you to
Yeah.
learn, grow,
Yes.
and be rebirthed into new things.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I am. I am.
yeah, because people, I mean, it's just, and some people may think of it as being weird or even
Yes.
freaky, right? Like, oh my God, like what's this about? But um it's really a way to move forward in life and have like additional it's like your guardian angel, you know? You got to be careful with your words. It's like your guardian angel who's like
Right.
with you.
Right.
We wear these shirts all the time that says my grandmother is my guardian angel, but do you really believe it? It's like faith. People say
Right.
God got me. I'm
Right.
dependent on Jesus alone, and freak out,
Right.
right? Do you really believe that? Like, and
Right.
so, and
Right.
if you believe it, then
Right.
you have to open yourself up to my dreams can come true, right? My grandmother is my guardian angel. My godmother is my guardian angel, and be able to receive those things that come to you when you are in a dream or when you are poking somebody.
Stop
Just
poking.
poke,
Stop
poke.
poking.
Okay.
Just stop.
Okay. I've stopped. I've stopped. But I'm just
But no,
saying,
yeah, that's real. And sometimes your favorite song um could be a song that's passed down generations. Like there was a song, A Closer Walk with Thee. I just kept it in rotation, like,
yeah.
on repeat. And then one day I was talking to I was like, man, this song, Closer Walk with Thee, I just have it on repeat. He's like, oh, that was your grandmother's favorite song.
Oh,
So, you know,
Stuff like that.
even through music,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stuff like that. It was funny while I was getting my shot today. Just a closer walk with thee came on, and I was talking to the little person who was signing
Oh
me
wow.
in. I said, "Is this a sign? It's just because I ain't trying to walk closer with you right now. Not right now." I said, "Now if the
I
Saints
know
go
it's
marching
right.
in,
I
come
know
in.
it's
I'm walking out the door. I'm walking out. If the Saints go marching in, I am walking out.
exactly.
I pay
Exactly.
attention to the
Bye.
music, baby. I pay attention. I'm like, is this a sign?
Like, is this a sign?
Is this a sign?"
Yes, right. Listen to those.
So
So yeah, go get the stories, however you can get the
yeah.
stories, or tap into. And then what you're saying is, then how do you share the story? So you get a story, and you're adding to the story, right? So you're also wanting to
Mhm.
tell your own story, right? This is how we add and weave in our culture. And then it's like, how then do you
Yeah.
get the story across? And like you said, it doesn't have to just be orally.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be orally. And how do we get them engaged in, like, for even for our youth, like, and even with people, when you help people find their purpose, right? When they get there, when you kind of like when people, so like a lot of people have been getting their African ancestry DNA, right? When people get that African
Yes.
ancestry DNA result, they're just like, bruh, I'm from the Mende tribe, blah, 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 blah. It's like, but they have like a sense of purpose. And even if you can't afford that African
Right.
Mende, the African ancestry, you know who's there before you. You know what I'm saying? Your grandmother, you know where they're from. You know your great grandmother
Yeah.
is from. Um,
Yeah.
that type of
Yeah.
thing, especially in New Orleans, because the history here, families here are like very close. Like they all used to sometimes stay in one house, as was for a
Right.
lot of families. But it's
Right.
really not that difficult. And when we're having those conversations, bring the young ones in so they can begin to find
Yes.
their sense of purpose and their foundation. And once you know who you are, that's what's going on now. The youth don't know who they are. Um, but
Yeah.
when you do find out your purpose and your light, nobody can stop you. And that's the purpose of these conversations,
Exactly.
right? That's the purpose of us talking about
Right.
you know our people, our culture, traditions, all that and more, because all of that ties into saving us as a people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
you're absolutely right. Bring the children in and be intentional about it, because
mhm.
one may say, "Oh, New Orleans, the New Orleans culture is going to live on forever," but we saw what
Yeah.
happened after Hurricane. It doesn't take long for people to be scattered, for other folks to move in and
Mhm.
don't understand or respect the
Yeah.
culture, for a pandemic to happen, and then you stop seeing certain things.
Yeah.
So we have to be intentional about it, um,
Yeah. No, that's real.
about preserving culture and telling our stories our way, right? Or they'll tell it for us.
Yeah. When I go home and I see the other people, my I got some people around me, they call them the clear people, trying to learn how to do sweetgrass
Them,
baskets.
yeah.
Like, and so for me, it's always a reminder, right? Like I keep, like even at my desk at work, when I had a particular job, I had some cotton in a little sweetgrass. I think I took the sweetgrass basket home with me. And a little sweetgrass basket. He said, "Why do you have cotton on your desk?" I said, "As a reminder for me to never have an
Right.
ill attitude at work, because I could be in a field picking
Mhm.
cotton, but that's not my reality, you
Yeah.
know. And so
Yeah.
it's just when I feel like when I get too uppity, you know, now I really don't get uppity, but I get tired, right? Like I don't want to do this. I'm gonna
Yes.
just do my own thing. I ain't working for the
Yes.
community no more. Woo, woo, woo. I'm gonna just go hide out in the woods,
Right.
you know, and just
Right.
do my own
Right.
thing. Um, I'm reminded that I can't do that, you know, and it just keeps me grounded. Like the cultural work that I
Right.
do just kind of keeps me grounded and always in a position of humility when I think about
Yeah.
all that they went through. It's just like, how can you not? But you know, and so that's the type of
Mm-hmm.
sediment that we want to pass in through culture. That's the type of sediment that we want to give
Yeah.
through song, right?
Yeah.
Um, through having these
Through
conversations, through sacred retreats, through all of that, through all of
yes.
those things. So we just got to
Yeah.
be able to pull them in there.
And you know, right. One of the things I thought about is, if we tell more of our stories about when we were free and
Mm,
truly understanding when we were the kings and queens, when we were the native of the land, of certain lands, when we, you know, had those important roles and pushes through. Like,
yeah,
yes, we were enslaved. Yes, all that is true. And before all that, there
yeah,
was,
yeah,
was traces back to being these ancestors who we, they didn't believe in owning land. They believed in being land stewards.
yeah,
And
yes,
so the land wasn't, how can you own something that gave us an opportunity to be here, but we
yeah,
can steward the land? And part of that, we obviously know what happened is other groups of folks came in and said, "Oh no, actually we can own the land, therefore we're gonna take it." But if we go back and think about how we were in harmony with this earth, how we were in harmony
yeah,
with the land, and bring that forward, then it heals us in so many different ways.
yeah.
Because a
It
lot of us,
does.
all we know is that enslaved. And not
Mm,
that, we're not chained anymore, but, we're still being targeted and killed and sacrificed and, um, different versions of it, right? So, yeah,
yeah.
don't want to shift that way.
No, don't shift that way. Because it's true, and I think that even makes it more important that we know who we are. Somewhere along the
Yeah.
line we missed something, and I don't know if it was, I think my mom is in her my parents are in their 70s, like early 70s. And I think
Mhm.
we're like 80 babies. Like, I think we were probably the last generation that probably that kind of like got it, right? You got to work hard. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to go to school, right?
Mhm.
Because you need something stable. You need a 401k. You need this. You need that.
Yeah.
Whereas the younger generation that's coming up now, their parents are telling them they can do anything. They can be anything, and they're
Yeah.
literally millionaires at 21. So that
Yeah.
culture has shifted. And how do you tell a 21-year
Yeah.
old or even one of our 16-year olds who just wants to just get their money because they listen to that rapping that your culture is important? Like your sense of being
Yeah.
is important. Your light is important. You are important.
Yeah.
You matter. And that's where we come in with bringing that culture to them in their face. However, and we meet them where they are. Of course, we don't go in there with books and take them to the library because that's gonna be whack. They ain't never coming back.
Right, right,
But
right.
never going back. But that
So true.
creativity piece really does depend on us and how we present it. That's why I appreciate Mama Jen. That's when as soon as you walk through the door, she cussing you out. Hey, how you doing? And showing you that
And there's a
love.
story that comes
And
from
there's
after
always a story. Oh man, I wish I could. She told me a really good story. Oh, I just sit. Oh, Mama Jen is amazing. Like she is a jewel. Like
Yes,
she should just be on
she
the earth
is.
forever and ever. Like and ever and ever.
We
Like
gotta
yeah.
get her on one day. We gonna get her on one day because
Yeah,
we
we're
gotta
really
make
gonna
sure the
push for
tech
next
is
month.
right because you ain't gonna blow the internet.
Yeah, we really got to push her to get her on. But it's beautiful what she does for not only for us, but how she is just unapologetically black.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
anyone walks through the door, like it is just, and that is
Anyone.
her culture. That's just
Yep.
her, and she is never afraid to share New Orleans culture. And she was just like, "You don't know about
Yeah.
your culture, girl." I said, "Hold on, man, hold on, wait a minute."
Right.
And so that's how I ended up
Right.
reading Black Rice and a couple of other books. She said we connected through rice, and I was like, and then I started doing some more
Yeah.
reading, and we sure enough were. And come to find out that all of
Yeah.
the enslaved that were just too much in South Carolina and Charleston, they sent them to New Orleans to the harsher plantations, which is crazy. Um, so you
Yeah.
got some gullah. People always tell me I sound like I'm from Vacherie. So I need to
Mm,
get the Vacherie.
yeah.
So let's
I
see.
actually say a couple of people from Vacherie, so I can hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, they said
Definitely.
I said,
And
you from Vacherie, girl. That's what they
I know someone who can she's from Sri Lanka. She can look at you and tell you what part of Africa you're from.
Hmm.
Or if you're not from Africa, if you're from Jamaica, she could just look at you and tell you. And so I we did this kind of like, there were those who knew and
Mm-hmm.
those who didn't know. So those who knew, she's like, they're from here, they're from like, yes, yes, yes. Those who didn't know, now that we had like, oh well, the first 10 was right. So um they were able to trace their history and confirm it. And then when she looked at me and she said, yeah, you are actually of this Native American tribe. Like, yeah, you have some African in you, but your Native American side really comes strong. And I said,
Mm.
I've been told that. I've been told that a lot. And so, being able to take that and going back and looking at it and researching it, um, yeah, it's learning our
Yeah,
history. It's so important, so important.
yeah. Tell her to come look at
There
me.
was something else you said that I was going. All right, well, I can just send her the picture. Send me your picture. I'll send her your picture. Be like,
Take a
where's she
picture of me,
from?
bitch. Right here. Bam.
Where do you think she's from?
Yeah, send her the picture. Tell me where I'm from, baby. Let me know a sign. I know a little sign. Um, but no,
Right?
that's a real thing. That's also a blessing too. And people will really want to
Yeah,
know that type of information. And once again, that's going to preserving your culture and your history. So maybe we can have her on.
yeah,
So maybe you can ask her if she would come on
yeah.
as a guest just to talk about her gift, not to necessarily have people pop up on the screen and be like, look at me. Um, but
Right,
for her to talk about
right. What you know people will do.
what you look at me. Look at me.
Look at me.
What I is.
Look again.
Um, but for her to be able to talk about the gift and what she has been able to learn and who she's been able to help through that particular gift, of being able to identify particular tribes and or exactly where they're from. And so let's get her on.
Yeah, yeah. She was one of my grad school classmates. So definitely, definitely. And going back to Mama Jen, I think the beautiful thing, like when I think about newer bookstores and more modern and sleek, and you can
Mhm.
buy books online and they're really convenient. But what I really love about Community Book Center is that, right? That you're walking in and you coming out with so much more. You come,
Yeah.
if I need to sit at the elders' feet, go there. And I remember asking Mama Jen, like, I need some book recommendations. She said, do you really want a book recommendation or you just want to be entertained? I said, no, I really want a book, recommendation. Like, give me some. She's like, do you want to know? Or do because she said some people just want to read for entertainment. So if that's where you are, I'll give you entertainment. But if you really want that's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, the nigger with Dick Gregory, the book of Mississippi, Ann Moody. She was like, "You from Mississippi? You need to read this book."
Mm.
And I was like,
She'll get you right
"Okay."
now.
And she ain't never lied. Gave me my whole life. She got me right.
She gonna
Got
get you
me.
right. She definitely gonna get you right. But it's so between those two, let's work on bringing them on. And so we're gonna talk a little bit more about this the next time we come on. I think we're shooting for the second Tuesday, I believe, of the month, or the first. I can't remember, but we'll let the people know, of course, for sure, for sure. And if they would like to hear something in particular, would like to know something in particular, please feel free to send us an email or send Village Rising an email. And we
Yes.
see Cliff, Uncle Cliff was saying, "What's up, sisters? We appreciate you, Uncle Cliff. Every time I see
Yeah.
you, it's just a blessing just
Hey,
to see
Cliff.
you and that you're
Yes.
doing well." Yeah, so we give thanks for that. And you and Auntie over there. So for sure. So we want to say thank y'all so much. Village Rising, we appreciate you. You
Yes.
have been a part of all that in mode
Yes. Thank
today
you.
with your girl, your favorite Gullah girl, Kyndra Joy, and the one and only Dr. Ticka Ticka Burns on the ones and twos. Dr. Burns, what we calling her now. Ain't that right, sis? I'm gonna get me some dots.
Girl, they calling me so many different things, but yes.
I'm gonna get me some
Dr.
dots.
Burns, Dr. Stephanie, get you
Yeah,
some
I'm gonna get me some
dots.
dots.
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
we're gonna get a theme together. All that and more.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. We are trying to get the conversation not only on Facebook but beyond because it's important. And a lot of other people are having these types of conversations too. And we would like to be a part of those conversations as well, because the only way we're going to be able to move like we need to move is if we move together. Everybody won't come. That's not what we're saying,
Right.
but we still need to move together. So we give thanks for your
Yes.
time. We honor your time and joining us this evening. So sis, until the next time, what you say,
Yes.
babe?
All that
What
and
you say?
more. Go get yourself together. All that and more.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's
If
what you're saying?
those
Okay.
who, hey, that's what I'm saying. But just a quick announcement, follow us on social media. You can find me, The Business of My Art, and Steph R. Burns on Instagram. I'm also part of the Spirit Grow Collective, and we're doing a Reiki energy clearing tomorrow. So if anyone's interested in that, just hit me up. And
That's
Kyndra
awesome.
Joy, where can they find you?
They can
Thank
definitely
you.
find me on
Yes.
all social media handles, of course. That is KYNDRAJOI. I am your favorite Gullah girl. You can find me at Kyndra Joy at Instagram, on Facebook, um, Twitter, YouTube. You see me looking, huh? I was just like, what else? I don't do Snapchat. I used to do Snapchat, but it's just too much to try to keep up with,
Yeah.
sister.
Right.
Too much to try to
You
keep
just
up
gotta
with.
like have one. You gotta have like two that you just focus on. The rest of them just kind of, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so we're definitely pushing in that. And so, like I said, if you have any questions, please make sure if you like what you hear, and even if you didn't like what you hear, go ahead and hit up Wayne right there at the Village Rising Community on Facebook. We would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback, family. So until the next time, we wish you much love, peace, and
Yes.
light. And we are out this joint. You heard me? Thank you from the Gullah Guy right here. Huh? You heard me? You
Peace.
heard me?
You heard that in Mo.